Hey, this is Steven from RC Engineering, and today we're going to be looking at my review of the unbranded version. As you can see, no Ishi, no nothing up here, no maker fire, nothing, no brand name, of the EV800Ds. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what I like and don't like about these goggles. But overall, and what they're good and not good for, but overall, for what I bought them for, I believe they're not a good fit as a beginner goggle for racing or general quadcopter use. And I'm going to explain the good versus bad and why the bad outweighs the good for these goggles. So I'm going to explain why what the difference between the unbranded and branded version of the goggles are. They just come with different accessories and different antennas. So normally this comes with two antennas. I actually loaned this out yesterday, my flight day, to one of my friends so he could run it on the quad. So he ran that on his quad to be able to get it back and up into action to fly. So normally it comes with a patch and an omnidirectional. And with that, there's also other accessories that it does not come with. There's like an external 2S, 3S battery harness that comes with it, some sort of mic thing or something, some other various stuff, the cleaning wipes and all that things. Also, another thing this thing does come with that I didn't bring down here is it comes with a case that you could put this guy in if you take off all the antennas. So pretty cool setup. I thought I was going to like it quite a bit, but I'm going to explain why now. So the good on this guy, it's got a good screen. It's very, very focused for me. It has good fit of how the foam is set up and how this eyelet is open. It has good foam on it, very, very comfortable to wear, except for one thing, and I'm going to get into that in a second. So some of the specs here, I have the Eachine website up. Here it says 362 grams without antenna. With antenna, with both antennas, it's about 420 grams. It has a 5-inch screen. It's got an 800 by 480 screen resolution, which when you take pixels per inch, PPI, which is you take the resolution, you multiply the width and the height together, and you divide it by screen size. It's actually not that great. Screen brightness 600 CD per meter squared. View angles 140 degrees, which is bigger than the actual human. I remember I was reading about it. For this it's okay. For individual eyes it's different. But 140 is about the maximum that you want to do, the maximum view angle that you really need. The battery is a 2-cell, 1200 milliamp, and we're going to talk about that. It's got a built-in DVR, and another thing that it has here that is mentioning on Eachine's website is that this guy separates, which honestly this and the DVR are, the DVR and what I'm going to go over in a second is my favorite part. The other part is that it has built-in diversity, and so here it talks about the package. So it did not come with a battery charger, this unbranded version. It actually came with a hard bag. This one just comes with a soft bag. It actually came with a hard case, which I should show. I'll have a picture of it at the end of the video or something. And the DVR, true diversity, which is diversity is 2 antennas. You have 2 antennas and 2 receivers, 1 receiver per antenna. So whatever signal is the best is it will pick that. So that's what this has going for it. Big screen, DVR, comes apart, has true diversity, one receiver per antenna, and you could put 2 different antennas and it'll pick the best signal from the 2 antennas and go with that signal. Downsides, the weight is crazy. It again is about 420 grams, and the 420 grams is about 4 to 5 inches away from your face. Everything, because this comes apart and this still works after it comes apart, everything has to be stored in this forward compartment because this has to be able to work by itself without the Fresnel lens and without the goggles, without the actual face adapter. So all the weight is concentrated at the very end. So what you have a lot of is a lot of loss in comfort, as far as not necessarily during flying, but after flying, is it wants to rock on your face. So I don't know if I will be able to show this on my head, but basically it's very, very heavy and it wants to kind of pitch down. So when you wear it on top of your head like this, that is basically impossible to do at the field, because it just is so heavy. Every single step you take, it rocks on your head. So you see a lot of people on the field be wearing their goggles like this on the top of their head with the band behind their head. That is impossible to do with these goggles because of the weight on the outside, because they're so dang heavy. So that is my major gripe with these. Number 2 is the hit and miss of the video quality. So it really depends on the quad you get, but it has very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? Inconsistent, very, very inconsistent video. So there's actually one of my friends at the field, Maurice, has a Furry Bee something. I don't know which one it is, but I was watching him fly with these, and I was getting a lot. It looked like I was getting 5 frames per second. It was completely unflyable. But then we have some quads here that we're going to plug in. This is the high-tech ready to fly 280, which I'm actually becoming a very, very big fan of, as now I'm practicing racing through gates and stuff, and it's a great starter for 50 bucks. Anyways, so like these, luckily all my quads that I have that I've flown with this guy so far have had good quality, as far as the good video quality. So I'll go ahead and show you that right now, but that's another thing, is the hit and miss. And I'll show you some of the weird things. I'll show you some of the weird things that also happens with this guy, is the it feels like the processor is not selected well for the size of the screen. It feels like the processor struggles to power the entire screen the entire time. So also another thing is that Fresnel lens gets dirty in there, and it's really, really hard to clean. But you can see there, the picture quality is really, really nice. I do like it, and it's perfectly in focus for me. Like I have no eye fatigue or anything like that. And again, this arc here, how this is cut, fits perfectly on my face. But I get a whole bunch of light leakage around the nose here. I can basically see the table. I do use that sometimes. I'll like look up and look at the quad and make sure everything's right there, or sometimes I'll even take off by doing that. So I mean, it's got pluses and minuses. I actually like this kind of like a little view hole where I can look down, look at my quad, and actually like physically take it off, make sure all the props are spinning and all that stuff, and make sure all the props are spinning the right way before I take off. So this is a positive and a negative at the same time. You do have light leakage there, but it's better than having light leakage around the corners, because that's pretty much unusable. So here I do not have any light leakage anywhere else besides that nose hole right there. I get light leakage around there. Straps feel good. They're standard Ishin straps. It fits good on your face. It's just the weight of the goggles itself is really, really cumbersome. So here, if I put this quad right here with the battery, you can see here that the another thing that's pretty weird, which I'll show you between these two goggles, is see how it's kind of laggy. The frame rate is like really, really low for some reason. And it's not the latency, because the latency's fine. It's just that it's not smooth. The video is not smooth on it. So if you're flying really, really fast, I'll show you here. I'll bring the quad in front so you can see my hand moving in front. I'm gonna do right there. You can see that it's just like not really smooth. It's not that it's like laggy, which it is. It's just that it feels like it's just not very smooth. Now, something that I have to compare with is I have Because I had these goggles, I went to the opposite extreme for box goggles and got the lightest box goggles, the Sheen VR 006s with the 2 antennas. So let's go ahead and turn these guys on. If they still will, I'm still on the same channel. And what you'll notice here is that, see how smooth that is? It's like it's got a higher frame rate for the exact same picture, exact same camera, exact same internals inside the quad between those two. It's just that it's got like a way better frame rate for some reason. Now, I don't know why that is. I'm thinking that it's just because it has a smaller screen to power. But that's one of the things, is that to me it feels, the picture is great, but it feels like it's laggy. Like it's just not smooth. It's really choppy, and the faster you fly, the more you're gonna notice that. So especially if you're doing like a plane, especially if you're doing like pylon racing with a plane or something, you're really gonna notice that. So let's go ahead and try another quad. I'm gonna do the tiny whoop with a Crazy Pony 25 milliwatt. Obviously everything on the high tech is all stock. Let's go ahead and turn this guy on, see if this battery's any good. So let's go ahead and point it towards that wall. And here's another thing I do also like that I didn't forget to mention. The search option is really, really good, and all the menus is really, really good, and the button location is really, really good. But Eachine generally has pretty good of that stuff, the searching. And like I said, the video is great. It's the quality of the video. You know, the clarity is great, everything is great, but the quality of the video is just not. What the heck? Did it turn off? Looks like this battery's pretty much dead. Let's see if I have a good battery here. It's just that the smoothness of the video is a problem, and also the repeatability of the video is a problem, because between each video the quality is going to be drastically different, and on some quads or some planes or whatever, some cameras or VTX setups, you're just going to get weird performance. I could show you at the end of this video that recording, if I did not erase it, of the, what's it called? Of that Furry Bee quad. Now, another thing you'll see is the on-screen, and you can see how nice this is. But even this, you could see how choppy, how kind of choppy it is. This one's way better than the other one, but you can still see how choppy it is. That this processor is really struggling to drive this 5-inch screen with that resolution. Another thing is I do like the setup of the OSD out of the box. So you see up here we have the time, the date, the band, 5.866 megahertz, and the channel. It actually shows you the channel. And it shows you signal strength, which is RSSI. I believe that doesn't actually do anything. It's up there at the top left corner. You can see it. It's like a little signal thing. And then at the top right corner, you have whether you have a SD card in there or not, which will show green. And then you have the battery, which is just a bar, which is kind of annoying. I would have liked, it just has 3 bars, and then it has a 0 bar, and then it's on for a little bit longer, and then it dies. So that's kind of annoying, but I would rather have it actually tell me the voltage. But anyways, so this guy, again, the video comparison, I'll show you my hand there. It's better. It's better than the other quad, so that's why it's like so weirdly inconsistent. And here, let's go ahead and scan again on the VR 006s. And then I'll show you guys how to take video. Actually, I'll show you guys that right now. Video doesn't really change when you're taking recording. Oh, quadcopter died. Do we have anything else around here? Oh, there's my other 2 batteries. Let me grab those. So I'll show you guys in a second how you would go about recording and what the recording looks like on it. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn on the recording really quick. So there, now it's recording. You could actually see at the top right we have a flashing red light. And you can see that it's still pretty smooth. It's pretty much the same. So no difference with the DVR, and the DVR is extremely clear. Anything you see up to this point on my channel is recorded with this DVR built into the eShun EV800D, 800Ds. So, and then I'll show you in a second the actual recording of that after I show you the smoothness on the VR006s to compare. And I will be doing a review of these guys here shortly. So scanning for it. And I'm just going to skip that channel. And there it is. So here it is. And you can just see that it's pretty much like you are actually seeing it. I mean, it's got latency, but the frame rate is super smooth. In this one, the 800Ds are very close, but this is basically the same as on the high tech. It's very, very consistent as far as between quads. However, this other set is not. The 800Ds is not. So at the end of the video, I'll be showing you guys the footage from that furry bee, and I'm looking at it right now. It's just super laggy on here, and it's no longer recording, but it's just super laggy, super low frame rate, not laggy, low frame rate. So you just hit the menu button here at the top, and then you hit the center option for playback. And then I deleted most of these, so I'm gonna look for the one that we just recorded. So it has like this super cool menu, which is I really like. And then you could hit the channel to start it, and then you hit the play button again to play it. And there you go. There's the playback. Playback's really nice. It shows you the time lapsed. You could take pictures. You could do all that stuff. Pretty much an all-inclusive goggles. But at this point now, we're gonna roll into the conclusion here, and just to sum up all of what's going on here. So, number one, on paper, it has everything that you want in a goggle on paper. It has the option to split it, to pop it open. It has a /20 tripod mount on it. It has the big 5-inch screen. It has a big battery, 1200 milliamp hour, which I didn't mention, but runs for about an hour, maybe an hour 20, about an hour and 20 minutes. So run plenty enough for a day of flying. That's for this guy about maybe 10 batteries. That's about 10 batteries on the high tech, which I only generally run 2 or 3. So plenty enough time for the entire day. It's got the diversity, the true diversity, with 2 receivers and 2 antennas, running 2 different antennas. Runs really good. It's got DVR. Put a big SD card in there. SD card will run for a long time. One of the things, the problem with the SD card, is you can only hold 100 recordings, and it loops every 2.5 minutes. I think it's 2.5 minutes, or 3.5 minutes. So every time you have a 3.5 minute elapse, it'll create a new file and start writing to that file. So, and it will only let you store 100 at a time, so it'll just start overwriting, so that's kind of annoying. But as long as you clear it out pretty regularly, every month or so, you shouldn't run into that problem. Good search options, dedicated channel plus, band plus button. I think it's long hold for channel and then press for band. So you could dial in your recording. Rechargeable battery through USB, not USB-C or anything, it's just micro USB. Good search functions. Another thing, the unbranded version, the antennas are really bad. They're kind of brittle out of the box. that's the reason why I have a yellow Craze Pony cloverleaf on this side, because I broke the existing one. And then these are all RP-SMA. These are all RP-SMA connectors. So that's another thing, is that they're not SMA, and SMA is way more popular if you want to get like Pagoda or any sort of antennas like that. Those are mainly SMA. So that's kind of another downside, is that they're RP-SMA. So yeah, on paper, everything that you could possibly want in a goggle. But in practice, it's very inconsistent because of everything that it has. It actually makes it sort of worse. Because of this split, all the internals are stored in the front, super heavy, so when you stick it on your face, it wants to like rip off your face. So you're basically permanently looking down, and you can't just have it stored on the top of your head and walk around the field, because it will bounce every single time you walk because of how heavy it is on the outside. Obviously, something like this, you don't have that problem because it's about half the length here, and also it's way smaller screen, about half. This is actually half the weight of this guy, and a lot of it is concentrated in the middle, so it's not even all the way out. So all in all, it's just the comfortability. So here's the bad parts. Those are the good parts that I went over, is the diversity, the decently long battery life, which the problem with that is it's a 2-cell, so it's going to be twice as heavy as a comparable 1-cell, same milliamp hour. The split comes apart. It's got the jack for the tripod, and you could run it without the goggle and the Fresnel. The DVR, the search options, everything. But the bad is the weight, the concentration of the weight up front, the inconsistencies between between quads. Some quads, it's pretty much unflyable. So you could buy these goggles, this version or the Eachine, which again, in this video, I'm assuming that the Eachine is going to be the same. You could buy the Eachine or this one, and you could have a quad, and you get the goggles, and it's just unflyable with a quad. It's like somebody showing a slideshow to you of pictures. That's how slow the frame rate is. And that even shows in the DVR. And now these guys and the Eachine have gone up in price. Now they're about $100. When I bought this for $70, which was a good deal at the time. But now at $110, I really do not suggest it. So, because of the aftermath of these guys, I'm going to be eventually selling these guys. But right now, for the channel, I need to use the DVR. And I'm going to be doing a mod series on the VR006s to make these the best new goggles you could possibly get. I'm going to add a DVR extended battery, and I'm going to do some case mods on it as well after I do the review. I've already shot the video of the first series where I took this apart and we took measurements of the internals. And also I talked more in depth on what we're going to do with the VRs. But this guy, $35 versus $70, you know, we'll see what happens. But I do not really suggest these guys. These are my own personal goggles, and I will be selling them once I get a DVR on my VR006s. So yeah, at the end of this video here, I'm going to post some video footage. If you want to see more video footage, obviously, like I said, just look at any of my other videos on my channel that use DVR. They've all been recorded with this guy. I do not have DVR on anything else. So you go ahead and look at that. But I'll have the freebie video. I'll have some other videos, and yeah. So this has been Steven from RC Engineering. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe for more videos like it in this series and other series as well. Please check out my description for the Patreon to help me with what I do here and reviewing products. And I will see you guys next one. Keep on this video to see the recordings from this guy, and also the really, really bad recordings, which is pretty much showing what you would get if you had a quad, if you were unlucky and you bought a camera VTX combo that just did not work with these goggles. Alright, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. keep tuned for the rest of the footage, and then I'll catch you guys later.